Welcome to Fat Kids Food Porn. Today we're doing a special birthday edition in which the wife demanded that I make surf and turf for my birthday dinner.
Happy motherfucking birthday, bitch. Birthday, bitch. I love you.
So what I'm going to be preparing today is a porterhouse steak and a couple of lobster tails. First thing you need to do, take that steak out, set it on the counter, let it come to room temperature. This is a huge piece in having a good steak wherever you're grilling them and searing them. The other key piece, put all those crazy ass spices away. You don't need that. For a good steak, a good cut of beef, less is always more. So what we're going to start off with is some olive oil. Lather that up. Make sure you give your meat some good rub down. So we'll rub it on there, make sure it gets all over. Flip it. Do the same thing. Make sure you got good coverage of that oil and just let it sit on there. Once you do that, only need two things. You need fresh cracked pepper, or if you don't have that, black pepper will work just as well. Want to make sure you really coat this. You want to give it a good crust on there, so when you're grilling it up, you can really taste that flavor. The other key piece, either sea salt, which I'm using today, or kosher salt works just as well. But with me being fat, Doc says, hey, why don't you try and use some sea salt? So that's what I'm doing. There you go. Once that's done, cover that up, set it off to the side, let that come to room temperature. Still got the rum. And then we're gonna move on to our lobster tails. All right, now to prepare these lobster tails, or actually let me back up a little bit. So unless you're in a better spot than I am, more than likely you're going to get frozen lobster tails. What you want to do is pull those out, put them in a bowl of water, cold water, let them thaw down. You want those lobster tails to be able to be completely bent in half. So the way that we're going to prepare these for the grill, you want them to be able to do just that. Once you have those thawed out, and they are able to bend completely in half, what you want to do is take yourself a pair of scissors. We're going to cut right down the middle of this bad mammer jammer. You're going to cut a little bit of meat as well. And what this is going to do is it's going to give it a nice pretty little presentation. Plus also it's going to make it very easy for wherever you want to go and eat this. Biggest thing, don't be afraid to make some lobster. You can find this stuff on sale. It is a very sweet meat and it is a great accompaniment to steaks. You can do whole lobsters as well. And you'll have some of the claw meat and the tail meat. You can grill them. Maybe one of these days I'll do one of those specials on a whole lobster. But essentially, all I did was cut that right down. Now I need to separate this shell from off of the meat. You don't want to break it completely off because you're going to use that to set it down. The other key, you see I didn't go all the way down to the tail, so I missed one of the appendages there that I want to get down and cut into. Well, I got it just to cut it quite enough. There we go. So as you see, I didn't go all the way through to the tail. I'm just going to start peeling that off of there. You're going to have to get your hands a little dirty doing this, but that's all part of the fun of food prep. Get in there, play with it, learn what your food is like. So these are only 7 ounce, I think, tails. So these are perfect. You don't need a huge tail. I don't think I've ever made over a 10 ounce tail because it'd just be too much meat. And as you can see, I was only preparing one steak, working on that portion control. As you'll see, I like to do vegetables as well, so we'll be coming up to that. So I do heavy vegetables. Typically I shy away from a lot of carbs, but trust me, I'm fat and I still eat my carbs. So one of these times on the show, I'll show you how to make some spectacular grilled potatoes. And, well, we're getting it there. You can see we're starting to see that meat come out. Oh, there we go. All right. So I got it off of there. Now I want to dig down in there and pull that meat all the way off of the shell. So as you can see, pulling that all the way out so that meat is off there. Don't tear it all the way off. You want to keep it on there because this is part of the presentation. All right, once you do that, I'm gonna go back to your olive oil, extra virgin, as I've always said, is what I prefer. Just want to oil it up a little bit. And as I said before, make sure you always rub your meat. Get that all in there, rub it down. Play with your food a little bit, makes it more fun. All right. Now, we've got it rubbed down with some olive oil. Take your shell, push those shells back. Set your lobster tail right up on top of it like that. And there you go. Now we're going to be able to set that on the grill and go at it. All right, so we got our 2 lobster tails all prepared. The seasoning I'm going to use on these is some Old Bay. I'm an Old Bay fan. Another good thing is smoked paprika. But I like the little bit of tanginess. Old Bay's got a zip to it. So that's what I prefer. To each their own. Try different flavors. I wouldn't over season these, as I said with steak. Typically wherever you have stuff like this, less is always more. So as I said, I went with Old Bay. Can never beat that. You want to try that, or if you try something different, send me a shout out and say, hey, I tried this and it was really good. I'm always up for experimenting. We'll set that off to the side there. All right, so now we got to do some vegetables. So I'm doing fresh asparagus. I love to grill fresh vegetables. I mean, asparagus, broccoli, you name it. I've probably grilled it. So with your asparagus, you want to start off, you want to cut that down. They typically say that you want to be able to find where the bend goes away. I've learned over the years of just being able to eyeball it, and I get rid of that stuff where it's really hard. If not, it becomes very stringy. It's not very good. All right, so we got the asparagus cut down. One of the things a lot of people don't realize is garlic. Fresh garlic, whole cloved, in with your vegetables is absolutely phenomenal. So it's almost got I don't want to say a buttery taste. It has a buttery texture, but it reduces that overall garlic. So it's not overpowering for a garlic taste, but oh man, you add 3 or 4 of these per person in there, and you can't beat it. My wife looked at me like I was insane, and then all of a sudden she tried that, she put it in her mouth, and she was like, oh my God, this is heaven. So now I've got her talked into that. I love doing it. A little trick I could teach you. Take your garlic, get most of that stuff off there, and take the back end of the knife, push it down, and it's gonna pop right out of there and make it easier to get it out of the rest of that paper. So you don't want to have none of that paper in there wherever you're eating it. Peel it right off, and voila. You're gonna smell like garlic a little bit. Wash your hands a couple times and it will go away. There's different stuff out on the market to help you get that garlic smell off of there. I don't see the point in it. One of the nice things about cooking is you get all those flavors and scents and everything else. Lets you know that, hey, I'm the one that cooked this, and I'm using real ingredients. As you can see, that paper is just kind of pulling off right there, and I'm just setting my cloves back here. So that way, whenever I get them prepared, just throw on the grill, they're gonna be all set. All right, so let's get these ready to throw on the grill. The way I do my vegetables, I like to steam them in aluminum foil on the grill. Sometimes I will grill directly or indirectly on the heat, but tonight with the garlic, I'm gonna slap these in some aluminum foil, let them steam and bake while I've got everything else going. Take your garlic, just slap it on the bottom. Take your asparagus, put it right on top of there. Go back to the old olive oil. Just a little bit, goes a long way. For seasoning on this one, I actually make my own seasoning. Garlic powder, pepper, salt. One part. I throw it into a grinder, grind it down, and then I've got it right here. I use this for a lot of things. It's very versatile. All right, now all you gotta do is wrap that bad hammer jammer up. We'll make sure that you got a good seal. You don't want the moisture coming out of there. You want this to really steam and cook down. That way, like I said, that garlic comes out and it's just like butter. All right, we got the grill fired up. As you seen, had to knock a little bit of snow off of that grill. Get the charcoal lit. If you have never knocked snow off of your grill so that you could go out and make some solid food, you're a fair weather griller, or you're lucky enough to live in the weather where you ain't got to deal with all this crazy ass snow. But here where I'm at, it definitely gets cold. It's about 19 degrees today, so it was a little chilly out there, but we got the snow knocked off, got the charcoal going. The one thing with charcoal is go and buy a charcoal chimney. I have had that thing for 6 years, and I have used and abused it and never had to buy lighter fluid. You don't want that taste in there or anything else. But also, whenever you have a charcoal chimney, it only takes about 10 minutes for that to come to heat, and you're able to dump that out there and get going. The other thing I'm working on here is wifey insisted that she has mushrooms and onions for her steak. I don't care for fungus, but for the wife, I'll do anything to make her happy because it keeps her from bitching at me. So as you can see, I'm just going to cut this onion down and give it a rough chop. Essentially just slice it out. Nothing major, nothing hard. Knock this out real quick. Ain't got to be perfect, ain't got to be pretty. As I talked about on other episodes, go buy some damn cast iron. You gotta have this, especially when you're grilling. There's so many different things that I can do with this. One, I can saute mushrooms and onions for the wife. Other things, you can make different sauces and everything else. You can put veggies in here and let them grill and take in that smoke flavor. And that is some good shit. Slap this in the old cast iron. The wife went to the store. Unfortunately, we live in Hillbillyville, and the store claims that these are baby bellas, but to me, they look like damn sliced up button mushrooms. But well, who am I to argue with what the grocery store claims that they're selling us? There we go. Got them slapped in the cast iron. Take some olive oil, coat them over there a little bit. The other thing she likes is a little bit of butter in there. So I've got this cut down to about half a stick of butter. I'm going to just use about a tablespoon, where the hell the little line here tells me to throw in there. The rest of that I'm going to actually clarify for our lobster tail. All right, so we got the charcoal chimney. As you can see, it's nice and hot. Dump that shit down in there. There we go. Oh. Spread them out a little bit. Let them get going. Put our grates back over there. All right, so for the mushrooms, as you've seen, slap them in the cast iron, put them off to the side, let them get a nice little heat to them. The asparagus and garlic is in here. I don't put it over the direct heat, as you can see. I'm putting it here. One thing, save some room, because this is where the lobster tails are going to go, because I want them to really permeate and get some good, get some good wood smoke to permeate into that meat. Oh, delicious. All right, I forgot to put the garlic in here. The wife was bitching, so gotta slap some garlic in here. Let's stir them up a little bit. Make sure that the oil and butter is getting in there. Saute those nicely. They're warming up. The other thing we gotta do now, before we put the lobster tails on, is I want to put in some pecan wood. Try different woods for different foods. You never know what's gonna taste best. I really like cherry, I really like apple, they're very versatile, and I've now learned that I really, really like pecan. Just slap you a chunk on there. It's going to help give that lobster tail a good flavor. And as I said, I'm not going to put these on direct heat. You'll see that I'm going to kind of stick them off to the side. My heat's over here, all my shit's cooking over here. As you can hear, my little brother that's no longer with us is talking shit. He wants to be part of the show too, so. All right, now we're gonna slap our steak on the grill. Biggest thing with this is you want this shit hot. You want it to get a good sear on it. Take it, throw it on direct heat. You'll hear that nice little hiss, and you know you've got it cooking. As you can see, I've got everything else going here. This is good to go. Biggest thing when you're doing steaks, don't walk away from the grill. You only want this to cook, we'll call it 2 minutes. I'm gonna do a corner clockwise fucking turn, get those nice grill marks that you see whenever you go to the restaurants and shit. One thing, you want a steak medium rare. If you overcook it, you're an idiot, cook it medium rare. You want to learn how to do that? Take your hand, put it down, and you can kind of feel around here. So not right here, but right in the middle of your thumb, that's medium rare. You can touch it, feel it, and you know you're good to go. All right, so we've been able to wrap all of this up. One of the biggest things whenever you get done cooking your steak, let that sit and let it rest. Don't be an idiot and go and start cutting into your steak to see how I cooked it. I gave you the tips on how to do that. If you messed it up, just know better next time. Hey, do not be afraid to make some lobster tails. Biggest thing with my show, the whole point is to give all you fatties out there the opportunity and the experience or just a little bit of inspiration to try new things. If you are looking for something that you are afraid to cook, never cooked, whatever it is, send me a shout out. I will definitely try it out. I've either messed it up or willing to mess it up to see how it turns out. I love to eat, as you can tell. I want to give a shout out to the wifey. She loves to deal with my craziness. Now we're going to sit down and enjoy this dinner. Enjoy your night.